Hi everyone, it's AngelArts here, and I'm here with AngelArts!
Oh my goodness!
Yes, I'm not really AngelArts.
No.
Surprise!
Surprise! In the flesh together, wow.
Yes, I know. I'm Kathleenmms, if you didn't know.
The lovely and beautiful, yes.
Me and Hark have been YouTube friends for a while, and now we are here in the same room, and it's so weird.
Yes, and we are here because we thought that we have to take advantage of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, worlds collide, and
yes,
you know, whenever that happens, there's usually, you know, some action hero that has to save the day, or we throw up a YouTube video.
Yeah.
One of the two.
It's like even when we're in person, we have to get behind the camera. Like,
yeah.
YouTube people
We were
problems.
we were debating, you know, just getting in behind each of our individual laptops with the webcam, you know, and just just talk to each other that way in the same room, like old times.
Yes.
But we decided to try to upgrade that a little bit and do something new. So this is what we're doing.
Yay!
But no, so how did this happen? Well, my fiance and I. It's weird saying that. It's so weird saying that. So my fiance and I, we wanted to take a trip to Florida to go visit some bunch of his friends. One of whom is actually the groomsmaid. That's a thing now. Groomsmaid. Just so you know.
Yes, I do know. I'm being educated.
One of my groomsmaids, his groomsmaids, and I was like, wait a minute. Kathleen lives in Florida. I'm not sure which part of Florida. But maybe I should mention it to her and see if we could like meet up for you know, a spot of tea.
Because that's what Floridians do.
Yes,
we sit and drink tea and develop British accents.
Yes, well, your British accent is so much better than mine. And yeah, we set things up, and I have to tell you though, everybody, she's a lot more beautiful in person.
Aw, thank you. Same here. No, like seriously, he's so fit in person. Oh my gosh.
The lies. Anyway. No, but seriously, as soon as I saw you come up, I was like fanboying. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a cat of Kathleen.
No, like
is
so
here.
was I. I was like, before on my way here, I was like, I'm so nervous.
Oh, no.
I hope he doesn't think I'm a dork.
Whatever. No, seriously.
Yeah.
All of my, I kid you not, like my fiance and his friends, this is actually their house, we're sort of taking over. We ate them. Yeah.
Yeah, we had dinner and we had to eat them because we have to prepare ourselves for the apocalypse.
Yeah, because at some point, you know, we're going to be talking about Walking Dead, I think, and we just need to get in the mood.
We had to get in the mood, so we decided to kill them all. So.
Yeah, which is good because their house is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I might even, you know, move here now.
Yeah. I love how, like, serious you stay. You're just like, I'm like, try not to laugh, and you're just like, re-ate them. And these are people that you know, and I'm like...
Yeah. I mean, and now I don't have to pay for a wedding. Yeah. I mean, hey.
You're just gonna steal all our money.
Win. I'll just get married to Kathleen.
Yes. We've already decided that I'm gonna be the mother of your children, so it's okay.
Oh, God. I didn't think you were bring that up.
Of course I would. This is YouTube.
Oh
I want to stir up drama.
Oh my God. Okay.
People love drama on YouTube.
This is not, I don't know if was this a good idea? Maybe not a good idea.
Of course it's a good idea.
Jeez. But for those of you who don't know, well, I guess depending on whose channel you're watching this from, we haven't exactly like planned out how we're gonna set, because we want to do one video on her side, one video on my side, and you know, the organization just wasn't there yet. So whoever channel you mainly come from, like, how did we actually start talking and become friends and
okay, I'm gonna start this story. Okay.
So, I'm gonna get some tea because it's gonna be long.
Okay, so I feel like this was at least more than a year ago because I didn't come out until October of last year. And I had been, if you go to my channel, you watch my, coming out video, I came out, it was really hard to come out because I grew up, like, in a super Christian environment, which is cool. It should be a positive thing, but, like, for me, I was always told that being gay was a sin. So, like, even though I was, like, as I was getting older, I was, like, realizing I was attracted to girls, I thought that I just had to overcome it. Like, it was, like, the sin that I had. And it became even more of a struggle when I was in ministry, and which I was trying to become a minister for about a year, and I left that, part of my life, and was really struggling with, like, who I was. And then I started doing YouTube videos, and which, really helped me through that time, because I felt really lonely during that time, trying to figure out who I was.
Aww.
And I'm gonna get real, okay? I'm gonna get real. So, and then I was looking up other YouTubers, just because I started really getting into this game Mass Effect, and, well, that was actually before I started the channel. It was really why I started the channel, was because I was into Mass Effect and BioWare games, which he's a huge BioWare person, and, so I wanted to see, like, gay Let's Plays, and so I Googled, like, gay Let's Play of, or Mass Effect, and your channel came up. And I just fell in love with your channel because you are a person who's spiritual, who I related to because I was spiritual, but also that you embrace your sexuality and you were very confident about it, and you like games. And so it was something that, like, I could look up to you and your confidence. And so I subscribed to you, and I kind of, like, commented on some of your videos. And
this is the part that's new to me, because for the entire time, I always thought that I found your videos first.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it was, because I think
maybe
I was
we
just
somewhat found each other at the same time. That's possible.
Because I remember I was specifically searching just for, like, I think I was searching for Mass Effect, like, analysis, because that was around the time when I was thinking maybe I could, like, start doing analysis videos in general.
Yeah.
And then somehow I got to I saw your channel. And I mean, as a female gamer, I've got a huge soft spot for female gamers, because I feel like there needs to be more. And I'm glad that the female gamer community has been rising for a while. It's still not 50-50 yet. Hopefully we'll see that at some point. But I think I saw your videos, and I started clicking on it, and you were just so insightful, and you had the way that you presented all of your thoughts and your ideas was exactly what I really wanted to do more of on my channel. Wow. And that inspired me.
That's so cool that, like, there are certain things that we found each other's channels about, and we were like, oh, I admire that about you. So
exactly. And I was like, I want to do that, and she does it so well. And so I started commenting on your videos, and then you responded to me. And I mean, I know you guys keep telling me that you appreciate it when I respond to your comments. When Kathleen responded to my comments, I was like, oh my gosh, she responded! She actually talked to me! I was starstruck.
Aww.
I really was starstruck, and that you were talking to me. So it's still up. I mean, it's kind of ambiguous who ended up meeting who.
I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I don't know. I just remember it was a special moment when I discovered your channel. So, like, we were totally arguing earlier about who found each other's channel first, but
while we were eating, everybody in the house.
Yeah, while we were eating, everyone.
Because that's the perfect way to bond with someone that you have never met in person. Just become a cannibal. Try it, guys.
I'm so glad that I'm making your
Christian values, right? Good Christian values.
Christian values. I'm so glad when I could, like, make people's humor a little bit more morbid, because, like, he was just, like, being, oh my god, like, weren't you just saying that I was too morbid, or no?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, good, you didn't say that.
Your humor's fine. Your humor's fine. I'm
No, someone told me, no, that was another friend that told me that earlier today. I was like, well, how can you be too morbid? And so, thank God you don't have any problem with my morbid humor. Because I love morbid humor.
Yes.
But I gotta tell my coming out story. So what's really cool is, like, he knows kind of the background of my coming out story, but, like, that people don't know.
Yeah, and Yeah.
He knows like the backstory because like before it came out, I actually emailed him and was like, I was like, Hark, I sent him this, you know, long email of, it was so hard. It's so hard the first few couple people you come out to, even though I knew he wasn't going to judge me because he's gay. I was like, how do I do this? I'm like, and so I told him I'm gay and and I think the first couple times you say that, it's just really hard. It's like, because you're coming out to yourself too.
Yes.
So
it's more real when you say it.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm a lesbian and I know it, and I've come out to my friends now, and they're all, you know, most of them are great. Not all of them were. I did lose a couple friends because I was in, you know, a very anti-gay, you know, ministry, which is sad because it shouldn't be that way. But and he just sent me this this amazing email that just made me cry, and it was just so sweet.
Well, I was taken aback. First of all, I was surprised, legitimately surprised, because it just felt such a coincidence that somebody that I ended up idolizing on YouTube and just started talking to, turns out she's gay as well. Like did not see that coming at all. And when like I literally had to check, is this the same Kathleen?
Yeah.
That I'm like, which Kathleen is this?
But I feel like that was a good saying for like this whole year, because like I have gained so much confidence too through that process, where it's like and like through great friends like you that have supported me. And I think that like the point of me telling this story is that like we became not only like YouTube friends, but good like real life friends too. And so that's why it's like we're here today, like hanging out, because you know, I don't know, we just like clicked on like a friendship level too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like because you meet for the first time in person, but it's like we've always been really good friends. It just feels like it's been more than a couple of years or however long it's been since we've been talking back and forth. And I mean, I was telling Kathleen that in the email, I don't remember all the words off the top of my head, but like I told her, look, you have an awesome following of people. Because when I first started doing YouTube, nobody knew who I was. So I went out. I went in as a gay person. Which
and that's my mind that you did that.
And that's really risky because first impressions, I didn't want the first impression to be, oh, there's this gay guy who does video games. I just wanted to be, like one thing that I always... I just want to be me. I'm just some guy that just enjoys playing video games for story and analysis, and I happen to be gay. That's just, you know, and my channel is not like the gay gaming channel, because I do a lot of Let's Plays that are not just LGBT themed. Yeah. And so, you know, I was telling Kathleen, you have it a lot easier than I do, because at least you already have a lot of subscribers and a lot of followers and a lot of fans who already support you. I didn't have that. Mm-hmm. And so I was actually pretty, I was very confident that her position was a whole lot less risky than mine if she were to come out, because of course there's always going to be people that are going to be challenged by the news, but there's going to be even way more people who are super supportive.
And you're so right. What's really interesting about my channel now is that most of the people that have subscribed to my channel have subscribed because of my gay content. Like you know, half of my subscribers have subscribed because of my The Last of Us Let's Play.
Do you necessarily think that's a good thing? Or do you think it's just a thing? Like,
I think it's a good thing, because the people that have positively reacted to my The Last of Us Let's Play have reacted to it for good reasons, you know? Because there have been a lot of people that reacted negatively, but the people that reacted positively reacted because they saw that my reaction was something that was really emotional, and like because that game touched me in such a like real way. Like, you know, we were just talking earlier, and I was telling him how like behind the scenes, like the stuff that was helping, like I had just come out like a few months prior to playing that game, and when I came out, you know, there was so much happening in the background before I was playing that game, where it's like coming out issues were so personal to me still. Like,
Yeah.
because I had, I was still getting emails from people that were in ministry with me telling me that, like, they were praying for me, that I was living in sin, and, that it was, like, really still hard. And then, family members had just started to accept me. So, like, it was really, like, I felt empowered to be out,
Yeah.
And so when Ellie kind of came out, in a way, I felt like here is like it was like seeing a friend come out.
Yeah.
It was like I can relate to her.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's like video game characters, you just feel so close to them sometimes, like I don't know, like what's a kind of a character for you that you just because I feel like every gamer usually has characters that touch them on a real level.
So yeah, there's actually two instances, one of which you can definitely relate to, which I'll get to in a moment, because I'm sure we'll go off into a tangent about that. This is a little bit of a spoiler, not a spoiler if you've already played the game, but a lot of you know I'm doing Dragon Age Inquisition right now. I don't think this episode has necessarily been posted yet by the time I post this video, but Dorian. So Dorian in Dragon Age Inquisition, there is a companion mission that you need to accomplish for him where, without giving away too much, it eventually leads you to bringing him to see his father. Because his father has issues with some of the choices that Dorian has made. And one of the things about Dorian is he happens to be a gay character.
Yeah.
And because of the way the Dragon Age lore is, he's a Tevinter mage, and people in the city of Tevinter, they are, the higher class especially, their offspring are essentially bred to be the perfect mage. And that means they have to be able to fit specific societal norms in order to be a perfect mage. And he has this encounter with his dad, and his dad, you find out that one of the reasons why his dad disapproves of his son is because he's gay.
Yeah.
Because, and that hit me on a very personal level.
Yeah.
Like, I actually started tearing up a little bit during, you'll see my expression. I had to pause a few times because a lot of things that was being said from both sides, both Dorian and his dad, hit really close to home for me.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, like I did not think that the game would affect me in such a very personal level. And I think that our generation is getting better of it, but there's a generation that tends to be older that sort of they think of video games as just a waste of time, or just like it's not as deep as,
they don't think of it as like an art form,
Yeah.
Or even, I think it's more, I wouldn't say art form is a problematic term for a lot of gamers, but like the same way movies, people can kind of connect with those.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a form of entertainment and one that you relate to.
Yeah.
But,
and it is, but
yeah, but it's different.
It still touches on, especially when you're playing a game in which you yourself are the main character.
Yeah.
And you get to make the decisions, Mass Effect especially, you get to make the decisions, and Walking Dead, that is a game
but
that you play.
But I know what you mean, though, with like, you see a lot in the media, older people criticizing games and saying that it's about that there's too much violence, and just kind of a disconnect between the generations about what games are about.
Exactly.
Like, they see the violent content or the sexual content, and they only see that. They don't see like the merit behind it, like the story behind it.
Exactly. Because it's just as legitimate as getting deep and emotional in a movie.
Yeah.
In a movie,
Yeah.
The other example I was going to say that really hit me on a personal level was Gone Home. Because I went into that game knowing nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing about the game. And it was actually Reclusiarch David who highly recommended me.
I didn't know anything about the game either. too.
Oh, really?
I'm so
glad.
I'm glad that my subscribers actually recommended it to me.
Yes.
And they didn't mention anything about it.
Yeah.
You know,
I heard that. Yeah, I heard that you were about to play the game. You knew nothing about it, and I was like, "Oh, that's perfect for Kathleen," because we get to the part, and again, I'll put a spoiler alert for the game. Mm-hmm. But it turns out that the main storyline of the game, as you go around the house and discover little things, is that you discover that your younger sister is a lesbian, and you get to read her personal accounts through little journal pieces. And just listening to the voice actor reading the notes, it brought me back. Yeah. It brought me back to when I was coming out.
I think it's really meaningful for our generation because it took place during the 90s, and I feel like that is like a very special time, especially for the gay community, because the 90s had a really important political time for the gay community, because the AIDS crisis really blew up during that time, and because of what happened with the AIDS crisis, a lot of our parents became terrified of the gay community, because they thought, oh my God, if my kid's gay, they're going to get AIDS, because so many gay men had died because of AIDS, Yeah. And so it was terrifying, and the stigma that rose from that was really bad. But also, I think my parents were so ingrained with that fear, and that they it kind of developed this fear in a lot of people from the next generation. And so telling that story during that time is really important, because I know my parents' attitude has changed a lot because the times have changed, but I know during the 90s they were definitely infected with that.
Yeah.
And just some of the memories that I have of the 90s. I remember during my Gone Home Let's Play, I described a time during the 90s when I was young, and I went to the Keys, which is a big gay-friendly area in Florida. And my family explained it to me that, that was the first kind of glimpse I had of the gay community. My family explained to me that, you might see girls holding hands of girls or boys holding hands of boys. And I got super excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I want to see these gays, but I didn't see them. I probably did see so many gay people, but I didn't actually know that they were gay, because I had no gaydar at the time. But I feel like the 90s was important for me because it was me, I don't know, there's so much happening historically. I know I'm going on a rant, but also I don't know, we grew up during that time,
Yeah.
I was a kid during that time, and I don't know. And it was before Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed, and DOMA was repealed, and so that culture of fear was definitely ingrained in politics as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For me, like Kathleen said, in Gone Home, it took place in the 90s, and I was going through dealing with my sexuality in the 90s as well. Yeah. So
I envy that you understood that before I did, because for me it was just this long period of questioning, but for you I feel like you were yep, you just kind of understood it before I did.
But I don't know. Do you feel? Here's a big question. In general, and I know everybody's experiences are different depending on their specific situations, but in general, do you think it's necessarily harder or easier for gay women versus gay men?
I feel like that's a good question. I've always thought that it was harder for gay men because but I think that you face different challenges.
Yeah.
I agree. If as a lesbian woman, especially a feminine lesbian woman, I get hit on by men almost every day, and it's hard because there's just this cultural stigma that if you are attracted to a woman and you're another woman, that you must do it for men's approval, which is also really hard for bisexual women too, because bisexual women most of the time they just love who they love. They're not doing it just for men's attention, you know. And so I think that's kind of a hard thing that I struggle with is validating that I'm actually lesbian to people, because people don't believe it. Even if I tell them I'm lesbian, they're like, no. But if you're a gay man,
you just haven't met the right guy yet.
Yeah, and so if you're a gay man, people tend to believe it. you know? But I think for gay men, the homophobia is much stronger. Like, I feel like people are much more violently anti-gay against gay men.
Yeah, I have said in the past, and I don't know, I forgot, somebody kind of called me on it, and I had to rethink whether or not it's right of me to say it or to believe it, is that I had a feeling that people are more accepting of lesbians than they are of gay men, and I have been challenged by that. So I mean,
it's kind of true.
You think it's kind of true?
Look, think about how many gay male protagonists there are in games. There are so many more female lesbian game characters these days, and there are very few male main characters from games that are gay.
And
and I think it's partially because they're trying to warm up the very heterosexual male audience to the idea of gay characters, and I feel like gay male characters will become more of a thing.
Yeah, and I also find that especially like in the 90s, whenever you did have a character who was gay, their main purpose in the story was comic relief.
Yeah.
They weren't there to be taken seriously.
Exactly.
They were there for comic relief.
They were there to help the straight couple.
Or help
somehow.
the straight couple.
Like give them advice, give them I don't know, relationship or makeup advice.
Which I guess isn't as bad. But like in general, it seems like the gay men were perceived as were basically typed as comic relief, and then the lesbian women were sex symbols, basically. Yeah. Is what I was thinking.
Not to discredit like amazing stories that came out during the 90s, like Rent.
Right, exactly.
Like Rent.
Yes.
Rent is a great example of something that was like challenging stereotypes, but also acknowledging that like AIDS was a big problem in the gay community.
Exactly.
You know, like but not like continuing those stereotypes.
Right.
But like I think not every character in that is stereotypical. Although the bisexual female character is very promiscuous, which is a stereotype, but, I don't know. So I get criticized sometimes by bisexual female viewers, so I'm trying to, like, remind myself to think of them.
You get criticized by female viewers?
Yeah, no, because they tell me that I need to be wary of not, considering my bisexual female viewers, because like I think sometimes I'm so aggressively lesbian that they're like, that I say things that might come off like I'll be like, I'm not attracted to men, I can't, like, I have to prove that I'm not attracted to men, but like bisexual women also struggle with that too, but it's like even worse for them because like they are attracted to men, but they're not necessarily slutty, like people think that they are.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. But I've challenged with that stigma too, because almost all the women that I've dated have been bisexual or pansexual.
Oh.
And so I've had people ask me questions like, aren't you afraid they're gonna cheat on you with men? And I'm like, no. Like, even I get questioned for dating.
Yeah,
bisexual
interesting.
women.
Huh.
So,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I guess my next question then is, so this is the part of the video where it's more like where the gay man asks the lesbian women the questions that the gay man has always thought about, and I guess you could ask the same thing. I guess I guess this question could go both ways. Is like, as a lesbian woman, what are, and I know you made a video about like what not to say to a lesbian woman.
Yeah.
But just in general, do you have like some lesbian pet peeves, like that you think are kind of specific to lesbianism, like lesbian pet peeves?
I think for me, a lot of it makes me sad that this is where I get in a lot of my negativity, but a lot of the things that really offend me come from straight men that are trying to hit on me. Okay. And it sucks because usually it becomes worse because I love hanging out with straight men. Like, I just love hanging out with men in general. Like, I may seem very feminine, but I'm very tomboyish. I love guy things. I love drinking beer. I love, like, action movies and video games, And
I love girly drinks and, drinking tea and going shopping and cooking and...
I love all those things, too.
I belong in the kitchen.
So, I love all those things as well, but, I mean, I love hanging out with guys. But sometimes, like, I'm trying to be nice to a guy, and he just keeps, like, even though I'm trying to politely tell him that I'm not interested, he keeps going. And I think that's why what bothers me is when, like, I try to be nice to a guy and be like, hey, like, I'm not interested, I'm, you know, it's not that you're not attractive, I'm just not into men, and he just keeps, like, persisting. He'll be like, oh, well, I'm a lesbian too, or like he'll say things like that, or he'll be like, oh, I bet you just haven't been with the right guy yet, or something. So it's like you try to not make it get angry about it, because if you do, you'll just be called a bitch or like a angry feminazi or something. But it does get to you sometimes, like, you know, especially because, like, you just get anxious because, like, I always go out on weekends with my friends, and usually they want to go to straight bars, and usually I'm the one getting hit on, and it's really awkward, you know, like, and I would have no problem wingmanning these guys with my, like, very attractive straight friends, but sometimes they just get in this mind, like, the fact that I'm a lesbian makes them more attracted to me for some reason.
Gotcha.
Like, because I've become like a challenge or something.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. I don't know, but
I guess I have sort of the opposite pet peeve that I don't, and again, this kind of ties into the idea, whether you can prove it or not, the idea of lesbians have it easier for specific things than gay men do, is that dating, I think, as a gay man, for a specific type of gay man is very challenging. For me personally, for example, I don't do the gay bar scene. I excel better meeting people and, like, engaging in them in a perfectly, like, not at a bar, just like hanging out with somebody.
I can see that though,
you know
because gay bars are a little invasive sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, like, I love.
There's
like,
an expectation.
There is an expectation.
Exactly.
And I think there's an expectation to be promiscuous. There's an expectation to go further than you maybe want to go.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and because the only way that you really could know for sure whether or not somebody swings in your direction is if, for example, you go online, because then people normally say what sexuality they are online. But I feel like I excel so much better actually meeting someone naturally and talking to them one by one and having the relationship and friendship grow that way.
Yeah.
But the pet peeve is I don't necessarily have the luxury of just all of a sudden making a pass at them without the worry or risk of some sort of negative repercussions.
That's true.
I feel like
That's
as
so
a
true.
female, it's more like if I make a mistake, if I'm a female and you're a female and I, you know, like make a pass at you or hit on you or flirt with you, you know, it's a little bit more understanding, you know, no foul, whatever. Whether it's for me, especially if it's someone who's become a really close friend of mine, because a lot of us have been there, and men and women, where you have that best friend or really close friend who happens to be of the same gender, and then you end up falling for them. because you know,
I think
you're
that's
so
like
close.
the classic, like, gay story. You will fall for one of your straight friends eventually.
Right.
Like,
and
like, for me, it was I knew I was gay because of high school.
Right.
Like, because I had the biggest crush on one of my high school friends. And, of course, she was, like, this gorgeous Asian girl. And, like, oh, my God. Like, and like, once I met her, I was like, I want to, like, but like, a relationship.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so appreciative of that friendship because like, you know, she may not know, but she helped me realize I was gay. But,
well, there you go.
But, like, you know, it's hard because you sometimes, if you really like a person, it's like, oh, I know you're not gay, but.
Well, what I was gonna say is, if I have a best friend, I feel like there's so much risk involved in telling them how you feel, because there's like that friendship.
See, I do feel that too.
You do feel that as well.
See, the thing is, I have no problem hitting on girls even if I don't know if they're gay. Like, I usually am the person that, like, initiates a conversation with a girl. I just don't have a problem with doing that. Like, and usually what I'll do is I'll straight up ask a girl when I meet her, I'll be like, are you into girls? And if she can answer that question with confidence, like yes or no, or maybe, then I'll pursue it. You know, because she'll know. Like, I like being blunt and obvious, because, like, if she knows my intentions, then she won't feel uncomfortable.
Gotcha.
You know, and sometimes
Okay.
a girl will be like, no, I'm not interested in girls, and we just laugh it off. And so, a lot of times girls are flattered that a lesbian finds them attractive for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
what
the
it is.
unfortunate thing is that's not the case for men all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately...
But if it's a friend, though, like the conversation, I feel incredibly uncomfortable sometimes with my close friends. Sometimes I feel like I have to prove to them that I'm not attracted to them.
Oh, gosh.
Because, like, I want them to feel comfortable. I feel like, too, it's like a chivalrous thing, too. Is like, I want to make my female friends feel comfortable.
Exactly. No, exactly.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
Like, because also, a lot of my female friends, they're like little sisters to me. And I'm super overprotective of them. And, like, so it's like... But if I did develop, which I have developed feelings for female friends, I feel like it's so nerve-wracking because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
You know?
No, that's exactly how I felt too.
You get in these situations with people of the same sex.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's like, I don't want them to feel that personal space invaded.
Exactly.
You know, especially because, like, you sometimes dress in front of people that are the same sex. You sometimes,
so
like,
then you're because then they're like wondering, is that person like looking at me while I'm...
Oh my gosh, like, this is something also I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Is gym class. People are so obsessed with gay people in gym.
Yeah.
Like, okay, my confession is when I was in gym, I would look at the floor the entire time.
Yes.
I was terrified of someone thinking I was gay because there was a lesbian or actually a bisexual girl in my gym class, and people would talk behind her back and they would say things like, she's probably checking us out.
Yeah.
And here I am, this super closeted, questioning gay girl, you know, trying to figure out my sexuality right at the height of like puberty, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, so I don't want them to think I'm gay, so I would just look at my feet the entire time. I don't even remember gym
exactly
because I would look at my feet the whole time.
Yeah, no, I got you. I absolutely, because I, especially more in middle school and high school, like when I was in a situation, if I was in a locker room situation, for example, I would be too scared to look at anything other than the floor as well. Yeah. And
it's amazing how much more terrifying it is as a gay person being in those situations. Like, you think that you're terrified if you're in like a locker room with a gay person. It's like, we're more terrified than you are.
Well, the interesting thing, and I just realized this very recently within the last year, is one thing that I'm trying to get better at is I catch myself having a hard time looking at people in the eye when I'm talking to them. Yeah. And I'm like...
Now I have to look at you in the eye.
Well, no. But it's only specific people. And I was trying to think, who are the people that I specifically have a hard time looking them in the eye when I'm talking to them? It's always the people that I consider attractive. If I consider you attractive, I look away when I'm talking to you. And it's a reflex, I think. Because
I never
I'm always
thought of that.
Yeah, and I didn't realize this for the longest time, and I felt bad.
See, it's so weird how like gay and lesbian experiences are kind of similar. It's like we're so different because we're different genders, but it's like, yeah, I can totally relate to what you're saying.
Yeah, like, and I think I came up to this epiphany, and I actually told a few. I'm so blessed because a lot of my guy friends who happen to be very good looking have no issue with me telling them, hey, I consider you cute. I'm not coming on to you. I'm just telling you. And I was apologizing to them. I'm so sorry, like, that I'm having a hard time looking in the eye when I talk to you, and they didn't really notice as much, but I was aware. I was like, I just realized, like, people who I consider like good looking, I have a hard time. And of course, they thought it was adorable and cute, but not everybody does. So it's weird how that. I think it's just growing up. I just was always used to looking the other way. When I find somebody attractive.
That's so true, because like that's what is really sad, I think, about the difference between, you know, like in a heteronormative culture, you're encouraged to like embrace your, you know, crushes and stuff. Like I was just explaining to him like how at work, you know, people would joke with me about, you know, guys and stuff, and then I explained to them. I waited a little bit to come out at work because I wanted to make sure that that they knew me as a person first. Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to just be like the lesbian that works there. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So
nobody, right?
Yeah, so I waited a while, and I actually came out to them like after that conversation because I was like, I I feel like you're kind of denying a part of me, you know? And it's weird. It's when you're straight, those things are encouraged, but rarely do I ever hear people being like, oh, so, you know, is there a girl in your life?
Yeah.
And, I mean, my close friends do, but not like strangers, you know? So, like, I remember I went to a PFLAG meeting one time, and the PFLAG moms were there. Like, Parents and Friends of Gays and Lesbians is PFLAG. Yeah. It's an organization that's where parents come and support their gay kids.
Exactly.
And one of the moms there was like, so, do you have a girlfriend? And I was like, this is so weird.
Weird, yeah.
I was just like, no. I mean, like, my mom does that to me now, but, like, it's just, like, it's still weird when my mom says stuff like that to me. I'm just like, what? Like, where she's like, where she'll say things where I'll talk about a girl and she'll be like, well, she's cute, right? And I'm like, what? This is so weird, because I wasn't raised like that.
And it's like a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Or at least they're trying to make a normal conversation.
Yeah, but...
Because I was telling Kathleen about my experience with not my current job is great, but my previous job, it was a lot harder for me to just be myself, because I had a very close employee friend, and we got along great, except if there was ever a time when my sexuality somehow was brought up, he would change the subject. So just the simple matter of, it would be Valentine's Day, and we would have lunch, which is the time when you're supposed to like relax and try to be a little bit more casual. And it was us, and it's all guys, and one of the guys was like, so what are you guys doing for Valentine's Day? So one by one, each person would be like, we're going on a date here, I'm buying, my girl this present, and then it comes to me, and I start talking about, what I'm doing for my fiance, and he would then, my friend that I was talking about would like change the subject. And it's not like I'm rubbing in your face. Like, all of you guys are talking about what you're doing for Valentine's Day, and I just wanted to talk about it like a normal person, like the rest of you all are doing.
It's not like rainbow
it's not
flags.
like gay. It's like, I'm getting, my fiance this, and we're going to go out and do this, and which is perfectly normal for everybody else, but for some reason, because my fiance happens to be a dude, I
have to say, like, at some point in this video, that, like, I always respected Hark, but, like, hearing him talk about, like, kind of the struggles he's gone with, and just, like, how he deals with problems when, like, these anti-gay things come up, is just really made me respect him even more. Like, I respect him as a YouTuber, but now I, like, super respect him as a person, because, like, your way of dealing with problems is so mature, and I never do that. I just get really mad. I'm an angry person, and, like, I just get mad. Well, like, I will like smile through my teeth, but I'll be like, this person's a bitch.
But we need that sometimes too, though.
Yeah.
People need that.
Yeah.
People need that. Good cop, bad cop.
Yeah. There we go. It's like that, like, Commander Shepard, Thancreos.
Yes. Sometimes.
Thancreos, Commander Shepard.
There you go. Yes. Yes. Good scene, by the way.
I love Thancreos. Awesome. One of my shepherds romanced him. My shepherd got around the galaxy. She traveled around the mass relays, if you know what I mean. She got around.
Wow.
And my bro shep too. My bro shep. I'm pretty sure there's only 2 people that have a romance in that game.
Really?
So.
That's quite an achievement. I think
that
actually is an achievement.
I've played the game like 6 times. Wait, no, 8 times.
8 times?
Yeah.
Jeez. So here's
addict.
Yeah. So so here's a little bit more of a personal question, because I know that we were talking about Gone Home. We were talking about my experience with Dorian, and a lot of your viewers especially remember when you were playing the DLC for The Last of Us, and then you had like the kiss. You saw the kiss, and you realized what that meant between Ellie and. So I guess my big question is, would you say that was the video game event that was the most personal to you, or was there another one? Was another event that was more personal to you?
That's hard. I feel like video games in general just like touch me in a way that like nothing else really does. And that's why like I love my YouTube channel, because I feel like it's sometimes when you have like a hard day and everything, it's like I just make a YouTube video and I feel like I'm like being myself for once.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
that's
it's like,
big. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's like this is me time,
Right.
you know? And like the fact that people, it's not only just like me time, but it's like sharing with other people that enjoy what I enjoy
Exactly.
too. So it's not like, hey, look at me, you know? But
and you put yourself out there, like you were in tears. You got really emotional, and I know that not only affected you. I mean, obviously it affected you probably more than anything.
Yeah.
But for all of us watching, myself included, like that got to me when it hit you, because I had already played it myself by the time I watched it, and I was specifically wanted to see your reaction, and it was like spot on.
I would say, after thinking about it, I think that the two games that have personally impacted me the most, even though Bioshock Infinite is definitely like up there, I'm not even going to mention that in these two games.
Okay.
Which is, I know some people are like, what? Is Mass Effect 3 and The Last of Us.
Any specific part in Mass Effect 3?
There's a lot. I feel like you can't spoil anything. There's a lot of deaths. There's
a lot of deaths. Okay.
In Mass Effect 3, and that really affected me.
Okay. We can leave it at that if you want.
Yeah, but like also, I think, I don't know, I guess because Mass Effect, the reason why it affected me was just because the story was so good. And I felt like I had a relationship with these characters. And so, like, having them in jeopardy, like, legitimately I felt like I was having a friend in danger. And I feel like that, as someone who enjoys writing and critiquing, you know, writing, I feel like that's such an accomplishment for any person who develops a story, for you to actually create a story that the viewer feels a part of. And like the characters were so real to me that I mourned over them. And The Last of Us was, I think it's amazing that so many people like shared with my experience, because for me it was really personal. It wasn't just oh, I love this story, but like I loved Ellie as a character. I felt like I related to her, not only because she, you know, I could see her through Joel's perspective of like, here's this girl that I want to protect that's like a daughter to me, but also I felt like she was a younger version of myself too. And there are a few games where I can actually look at the character and relate to them myself, because there's few like female characters that are really strong and actually like that really struggle with things that I can relate with. Like, you in The Last of Us, without spoiling anything, there are times where Ellie is incredibly vulnerable and you feel that vulnerability. Like where you're like, oh my god, she is being a girl in this type of world, a young woman is extremely dangerous. It's like a new level of danger. Right. You know, and I guess because I'd been through things that kind of reminded me of things that she'd been through, it hit me on a personal level. Like I knew how she felt in some of those more intense moments near the end of the game. Where she felt like where she had to overcome these obstacles with these bad people that wanted to hurt her, you know, and she had to do those obstacles on her own. And that's what was powerful. Like, it wasn't just about Joel saving her. She saved herself, you know?
Yes, yes, I noticed that.
And so when The Last of Us came along, I'd already loved this character, but the fact that she had a relationship with another girl, and that it was done so casually, it wasn't like this huge deal, it was just like a young romance, it made me just break. I think when you see me just start crying, that's like, it's so real. And the fact that I didn't expect it to blow up like it did, because I recorded it in shitty quality, because a few people on my channel asked me to record it. Like, they were like, hey, you should record it because you just got a new capture device. It was the first thing that I had recorded on the capture device. It was really shitty quality. I thought like maybe a couple hundred people would watch it. I didn't think that 70,000 people would watch it. And yeah, and I think, as I said earlier in the video, like, so much was happening to me in my personal life with like coming out, that it was like kind of like I was already on the edge of tears with the whole coming out thing. Yeah. But then when she came out, I was like,
big culmination.
It just made me break. You know, like And when I heard that Ashley Johnson had saw it, I was just like,
that's awesome.
It flattered me because I realized like she's so connected to her fans that she is moved by my reaction.
Yeah.
You know, like my reaction moved her, and it's like it's kind of weird because like she moved me emotionally, but then I moved her, and I was just like, that just means that she's a cool person because she cared about one's fans' reaction, you know?
Exactly.
So,
yeah. I just think that we need to definitely give more credit to all the people who are involved in video games in general, especially, well, on a personal level for us, when they do things that are positive for the LGBT community. Obviously, BioWare has been. We were talking about that earlier. How much BioWare obviously has taken strides specifically for the LGBT community, and even though they're criticized for, you know, for how dare they jump on board this gay agenda.
Yeah.
And
it's weird. I love that how Neil Druckmann, the director of The Last of Us, has responded to all the criticism.
Oh, really?
He's just like, yeah, Ellie I designed her as gay, but, you know, whatever. If you don't like that, then whatever. You know? Like, and... Yeah,
I loved his response when people were asking him, so did you actually intend for that to be a gay kiss? Was that actually a gay kiss? And his response was something like, if there were two boys, there would be no question.
Yeah.
But just because it was two girls, you know, you guys are asking me this question in the first place, like, really?
Yeah, and I'm just a huge fan of Neil Druckmann in general, and just like his directing style is crazy, but also like he wasn't even that political about it. It wasn't like, hey,
it wasn't meant to be a soapbox.
Yeah, and he said that like he didn't even. The fact that it was two girls, it wasn't like this political decision.
Yeah,
it was like
it made sense in the story.
It made sense. Yeah, and I like what he said in some interview that he in, you know, the liberal area that he's in right now, it's like it's not seen as a political thing for people to be gay. So
yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's like
people make it that way. I think.
Yeah, I think
that's the problem.
Yeah. So. I feel like I should ask you some questions now.
You can if you want. Because and some viewers were asking us questions as well, so I can pull those out too. But if you have a question for me now,
I know you did answer the one about like, one thing that's kind of I've been curious about is PDA. You know, like how do you feel about it, and how hard is it for a gay man? Because like for me, it's like PDA is okay in certain atmospheres. Like if I've had no problems, you know, like kissing girls in clubs or dancing with them, like because drunk straight girls make out all the time for some reason, you know. Yeah. So it's like people just think, oh, they're probably drunk, you know. They don't even think we're lesbians. So if I make out with a girl in like a club or something, it's fine. If I was like hold a girl's hand in like a park where there was kids, different.
That's a good question because I mean, PDA is. For me, it's a touchy subject because I understand that you can easily say, oh, well, people are just saying, I don't want to see two guys holding hands because they're uncomfortable seeing two guys, or two guys kissing because they're uncomfortable. Yeah. But you can make the argument of, I mean, I don't even want to see straight people kissing much, you know, it's not necessarily a gay thing, it's just I don't want to see PDA at all. People don't want to see it at all. And, but I feel like you can, I think that there's certainly different levels of PDA. Mm-hmm. Simply holding hands, I don't think should bother people. Yeah. If you're like making out in the park, you know, at least if it was me who happened to see people doing that, I mean, I'll look away and then not you know, not get all crazy about it. I might think that, you know, I might in my head think maybe you guys should get a room, but I mean, I don't think I'm necessarily going to be judging them about it, or thinking that they don't have the right to do that. They don't have the freedom to do that if that's what they want to do, because I know even now I'm about to get married. I'm still, my fiance and we might be holding hands and we'll just have a conversation, and all of a sudden, depending on who walks into the room, either I let go or Colin lets go, and it's just a reflex. It's you know, it's not even, and it's it's painful because
Yeah.
I see other couples in the same room. You know, they might have their arm around their girlfriend or their boyfriend, and I just feel like we're not quite yet to the point where I at least can be fully comfortable being able to hold hands or to have my arm around my fiance or anything like that yet. We're not quite there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. For me, like, yeah, I guess it's different because I'm not in a relationship. I've just had, like, flings and been young.
But when you are in a
whatever.
relationship or have been
dating,
but
like, for me, I feel like I'm more comfortable around it than often other girls are.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I think it's weird. It's like, for me, I'm generally, like, I don't give a crap kind of person. Like, I'm just, like, I don't care if people think of me. So, I mean, I think that's just generally how I am.
And for me, I'm like more of a, well, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, so I try to be very sensitive with people.
I'm kind of aggressive about it too sometimes. Like, I get, like, mean lesbian sometimes. Like stereotypical, like,
well, that's the
screw
thing.
you.
The argument is, AngelArts, why should you feel like you need to,
it's not
uncomfortable?
I don't think that's about. I think it's valid for you to feel that, because, like, for me, it's just something that you struggle with, it's, for me, it's just like, I don't think yelling at people when they give me beef is probably the best way to go about it. For me, it's just probably I need to ignore them. But, like, for me, if, like, someone, like, says something to me, if they call me a dyke, I'm like, screw you! Like, if someone, like, yells at me, if they roll down their window and yell at me, I'm just like, I throw the bird at them, I'm like, fuck you, But I'm like, that's probably gonna get me in trouble someday. Like, I mean, I might get beat up or something. So it's probably better that you don't react quite as aggressively.
I don't know. I mean, there's two different extremes, and either extreme is bad. I think there's also something to be said to be able to stand up for things like that if you want change. And I think that each person handles it in a different way, and and people just deal with it the way that works for you. And in the end, I like to believe it balances out in the end. Yeah. So.
Okay, cool. We're going to move on to other fan questions?
Yeah, so I think Shenrai Arnis, hi Jonathan, if you're watching, I love you Jonathan, he asked both of ours, he really wanted this question answered because he posted on mine and yours, so he wanted to know which games should have romance that don't currently have romance, which games should have romance that don't, and I don't know if that necessarily means like having the option to court someone, like in Mass Effect or in BioWare. I'm assuming maybe that's what he means. Yeah. The ability to court someone.
Oh man, that's a good question because I have so many things to say about this. Like, first of all, Bethesda games need to be better about this because like Bethesda games are so immersive, and I love Fallout New Vegas because the storylines were amazing. The main character, you get all of these followers that have these really good storylines, and like I'd always loved I loved Fallout 3. I was one of those, I feel like that's rare. Like, the Fallout 3 fans are a little bit more rare than the New Vegas fans, but, like, I love Fallout 3 because it was really dark. Fallout 3. It was really dark, and it, like, the survival aspect was, like, more there, but New Vegas made that even better in some aspects because of the interactivity that you have, like, with the followers. Oh, cool. Yeah, because that was lacking a lot. Yeah, I agree with that. And I was disappointed when Skyrim came out because I was thinking they're going to do this with the followers, and they didn't. And I thought that they should have done that with the followers in Skyrim. Yeah. I found out with Skyrim, you can get married to people of the same gender. And I thought, that's awesome. And it was just not... it wasn't what I expected. Yeah, it was very shallow. It wasn't immersive at all. Like, I ended up, finding this really cute mage in the Mage's Tower that I was like, oh man, I can date that guy and he can be my husband and all that. But it was just, there was really nothing. You give the person a necklace. Which mage did you marry? Which mage did you marry? Which mage? I think there was only one mage in the Mage Tower that was gay, or that you could. I forgot the mage's name. But I think I know what you're talking about. There's one mage in the Mage's Tower, one mage, and as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh. Does he have, like, the cloak? Yes, he does. Yeah! I liked him a lot. I loved that quest. The whole like the college, the mage college.
Yes, I made a beat because I love mages. So as soon as I was done at whatever the first main village you're supposed to go to, Whiterun or whatever.
Whiterun, yeah.
Like I heard about the mage's tower. And I made a beeline for it, and it was a pain in the butt to get to because it was literally on the other side.
It's really far away, and the quest is really hard too.
Yeah, and the quest is really hard, but I had so much fun because I felt like, hi, we're gonna, welcome to the school, and we'll register you in, and I felt like I was in my own special Hogwarts. That was what I felt like. I was in my own Hogwarts, and then of course I met the mage there. I'm like, I'm so gonna grab you, but all you have to do is you give him a necklace. And then you're married, and then...
the first Skyrim marriage that I had was straight because I was still in the closet. Oh. And I was super nervous that one of my roommates would come in and be like, why are you having two girls marrying each other?
Oh, okay.
And my first Mass Effect relationship was straight too. I actually romanced Kaden the first time.
As a female shepherd?
As a female shepherd.
Okay.
Because even though right away, I actually bought the game. The funny
thing about that is...
I actually bought the game because I liked Liara.
Yeah? We know. Oh, we know.
But I romanced her with Brosh first, just so it wasn't there,
Okay.
But the first romance I had, or the first marriage I had in Skyrim was straight. And then I actually created a new character and married, I think she was the one in Whiterun that, like, you have to get an elephant tusk for.
Okay.
She was really cute. And I was just really sad that it wasn't more immersive.
Right.
Because, and also, I feel like the followers in Fallout New Vegas, they're so charming that they'd make, I really liked the character, Veronica in Fallout 3 and in New Vegas. I thought that it would be really cool if me and my, it's not the Vault Hunter, right? No. What's it called? What is the main protagonist called in Fallout New Vegas?
I never played the game, so I never played, I know.
You should.
I know I should. I love Fallout 3, but I never played New Vegas.
Yeah, but with my main character, I was like, oh, this would be such a cool, and I also thought Boone was a really cool character, and I felt like, I guess I'm not going to give too much away, but I felt like he had so much heartbreak when it came to relationships that it would be cool for another relationship to be part of the story, with him. So if you haven't played New Vegas, you should, because the characters are amazing.
And I heard there is a gay perk. I heard there's like a gay perk.
And there are, Veronica's one of a lesbian, or at least, she's into girls. I don't know if she's lesbian or bi, but Veronica is a lesbian character.
Yeah.
Arcade is a gay character. So there's a gay and a lesbian character. So
for me to answer that question, I actually am very surprised and shocked, as far as I know, that Telltale hasn't done romance yet. Telltale hasn't done any romance.
That's a good one.
Because they're so into story and choices, and I really think that they could do justice having a storyline where you have the option of romancing someone.
And how angry were you that there wasn't a romance in the first season?
Yeah.
Because they almost made you think that
even with Carly. Like, I was perfectly happy, like, trying to pursue something romantic with Carly as Lee. Now, granted, on my first playthrough, I started out saving Doug. So
I saved Carly, so I wanted to save her because she was cute. So.
And I saved Doug because I thought he was cute. So, I know, we're bad.
We're shallow.
We're so shallow. No, but I'm sure it was more than that. I mean, I'm sure there was...
It was also because she had a gun, too.
Yeah. Well, I liked her personality, too. I think personality
Doug was cool. Too.
I like Doug a lot.
He was quirky.
I have a soft spot for smart, nerdy guys who are cute in the parents' basement sort of way. I love that line, which is a Carly line. That is a Carly line.
Yeah.
So I didn't necessarily, I wasn't necessarily going to think that Telltale's first stab at a romance would allow for a gay romance. I was perfectly happy for any romance, and of course that got shot out.
Yeah.
Literally.
I hope that Tales from Borderlands has some romance. I think that it will happen. It probably won't. It'll probably just be a natural part of the story.
I don't know what it is, but the male protagonist of Tales of Borderlands, I haven't played the game, about to. And trust me, Kathleenmms has filled me in on everything I need to know about going into Borderlands. A little bit. Going into Borderlands and the Game of Thrones game.
I tried to explain to him the whole plot of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I was basically like, so this
People
house
die.
hates this house. They
People
kill
die.
each other. People die. Everyone that you love will die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And sex.
Yes.
Did I mention that? Sex.
I've heard about that. Including gay sex at some point. I heard there's a good amount of gay sex. But anyway, what was I talking about? The gay sex distracted me.
Yeah.
What was I talking about? No, seriously. What were I talking about?
Tales from Borderlands.
Seriously, yeah. I actually have. Again, I haven't played the game yet, but I kind of getting.
Troy Baker.
Oh, was the main character? Yeah, because I was gonna say the male protagonist. I kind of am getting a gay vibe off. Somehow I'm getting a gay vibe. I don't know.
I don't know. That.
Maybe it's wishful thinking.
I thought that he would end up with one of the female characters.
In general, I would die if Troy Baker voiced a video game character that could end up having a gay romance.
He did play a gay character.
Did he really?
Mm-hmm. It was early on in his. It was a Japanese game. It was you have to look it up because it was a small part.
Okay.
But I know someone actually mentioned to me, I think I said something like, oh, Troy Baker's playing a gay character, and someone was like, no, he did.
Troy Baker is easily my biggest video game celebrity crush.
He's Troy Baker is the Brad Pitt of gaming.
He is the Brad, yes, seriously.
Yeah, he is.
Because not only is he a brilliant actor.
And Laura Bailey is the Angelina Jolie.
I can see that. Not only
so they're both in this game.
Wow. That's amazing. I definitely am excited to play it then. Not only is he a brilliant actor, I mean, that's already apparent. Not only is he good looking, the man can sing, and that's goes directly.
Yes.
Hearing
Even
the man
I have a bi crush on him. Am I gonna lie?
Exactly. We're allowed to have that.
Yes, I would totally be. I'm almost bisexual for him. Almost. Just if it was a little more than I'd just.
There are women like that. There are women like that that kind of fall in that category. Mothering my children, right?
Yes.
Mothering my children. If you're watching, honey, hi. So.
Oh my gosh, your fiance is probably like, I'm gonna have to murder her. I'm gonna kill her. Kill her in her sleep.
So, but yeah, Telltale, I think they should at some point. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think doing it in a game like The Walking Dead is just cruel because they're gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't expecting a romance with Luke, but I'm just saying in general. With Clementine, I wasn't expecting romance with Luke because that's just weird. But
yeah, I hate when people ship weird people like that.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh my gosh, people send me these weirdest things, and I'm just like, no underage people shipped with overage people. No.
Yeah.
Just don't. That should be the cutoff. But it's the internet, so everyone's gonna do weird things. This is the internet.
Yes.
But what was I gonna say about? Okay, not to change. This is on the same subject, kind of, but. I feel like Beyond Two Souls, it had a romance.
Yeah.
But it was forced on us. And there was another romance option, but I was, the whole time I was playing it, I was thinking, why isn't there a lesbian romance option? Because Jodie always came off to me as very kind of dykey a little bit. And I say that in a good way because,
in a good way.
Represent dykes.
Yeah, that's true.
And... I just thought, I was hoping that there'd be some. And when Ellen Page came out, right after that game came out, I was like, yes! Because I had a huge, crush on Ellen Page.
Oh, I can see that, totally.
Because I love, petite girls like that.
She's adorable.
Adorable. Yeah, Ellen Page, marry me. Gay marriage is going to be legal in Florida in, 2 weeks. So, I know every gay woman wants to marry Ellen Page, so I have a lot of competition. But, anyways, I was saying, I just felt like there should be a lesbian romance in that game. I don't know.
I can definitely see that. I feel, though, that, I think BioWare started it. BioWare started that, and more gaming companies are beginning to realize that it's something that people do enjoy.
Were you super disappointed though that there wasn't a gay romance in Mass Effect 1? That there wasn't like a gay male?
Especially since Kaidan was supposed to. Yes.
And I always kind of thought that Kaidan was bisexual. That's something I liked about his character. And when I heard that he was going to be a gay romance option in Mass Effect 3, I was like, that makes so much sense. Because like he was supposed to be bisexual. And the gay romance between Kaidan and Broshep is adorable.
Good.
It's better than the female.
That's what I heard.
Because it's like you just get this sense that, I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything, but you get the sense of like all this pent up, like he always loved Broshep, but he finally had the courage to admit it. And like part of that too is like his questioning of sexuality too, which made it really powerful. He kind of hints at it that he's like, people always thought I was picky or that I just hadn't found the right one, but I was just always looking for the one that was special to me. And so like you kind of get the sense that he was questioning his own sexuality and that Shepard like helped him kind of figure out that like gender was, I think Kaidan's maybe more pansexual because like it seemed like he was just like, gender doesn't really matter to me. It's like
with Kaidan's personality I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, it definitely was a big disappointment, and I'm glad that they ended up eventually handling it the way
they redeemed themselves a little bit.
They redeemed themselves a little bit, and I mean, I ended up, I mean, part of me was kind of mad because had I known that Kaidan would eventually be gay, then I would have played Mass Effect 1 as a Broshep.
Closeted Broshep?
A closeted Broshep because what the Shepard I ended up playing was a Shepard who first dated Ashley, and because he was dating Ashley, I had to kill off Kaidan. Yeah. And so he first dated Ashley, and then he dated Miranda, and then by the time we got to 3, I didn't want to kill. I didn't want to kill. Well, my very first, like I said, I love Kaidan, so my first playthrough was FemShep. That was that was my main Shepard for the longest time, and then I ended up playing through Mass Effect 1 and 2, replayed it as a male Shep, and tried to see what would happen if I dated Ashley instead and killed off Kaidan, and then Mass Effect 3 comes out, and I wanted to do a Let's Play of it, and I didn't want to have to go through Mass Effect 1 and 2 all over again to keep Kaidan alive for my Let's Play, and so that's why, because a lot of people were disappointed, like, oh, this is a gay Let's Play, and you don't have, Kaidan isn't alive, like, I know, I love Kaidan too, I really do, but it's okay, but I will say though
I want to do that now, I want to play as like a closeted Broshep now, because that just sounds so powerful too, like, Kaidan and Broshep, and, I think people have actually, I just kind of want to clarify something, because like in my early Let's Plays and stuff, like I talk about boys because I was in the closet, I talk about male characters, and I think that kind of confused people because they're like, oh, is she bi? Is she really gay? Because I keep those videos up, and the thing is, I love romance. Like I don't care if it's like straight romance, gay romance, lesbian romance.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still a girl, and I like. And so when I talk about male characters, it's not that I like am attracted to them in the same way I'm attracted to women, but I totally think that Kaidan is awesome and that he's super attractive, and I love the romance with his character. So